Have you ever caught yourself thinking that anime isn't just about epic battles, flashy magic, or saving the world anymore? That feeling you get, that maybe behind all the familiar tropes, there's something deeper, something more complex waiting to be uncovered? Well, fall 2025 is that moment. It is the season when the entire anime industry seems to be saying it out loud. We've grown up. This season isn't just a collection of new shows. It's a mirror reflecting our own society, a society that's anxious, introspective, and visually daring. The classic themes we've always loved are still here, but now they're infused with a new depth. Themes of growing up, identity crises, and tough moral choices aren't just secondary plot points anymore. They're the very heart of these stories. Our protagonists aren't just blindly rushing toward victory, no matter the cost. Instead, they stumble, they doubt, they hesitate, they make difficult choices, and more importantly, they have to live with the consequences of those choices. It's a shift you can feel across the board. Even the comedies are starting to carry a surprising philosophical weight. You'll find yourself laughing one moment and pondering a serious question the next. Even the most intense action series are pausing just long enough for a moment of quiet reflection, for a thought to slip in between the explosions and the fight scenes. This isn't just about slowing down the pace, it's about adding layers, giving us more to think about long after the credits roll. And visually, studios are absolutely pushing the boundaries. They're experimenting with color, with symbolism, and with sound in ways that are truly groundbreaking. Every single frame feels intentional, packed with a message. In some of this season's most anticipated new titles, light itself becomes a narrative tool, literally separating truth from lies. You'll see characters who embody honesty glowing in warm, inviting hues, while others, shrouded in secrets, are cast in cold, stark tones. This isn't just a stylistic choice to make things look cool. It's pure narrative storytelling, using visuals to communicate what's happening beneath the surface. This trend isn't just a feeling, it's something critics are noticing too. According to AV Club, fall 2025 shows a maturity in the genre itself. We're seeing more original IPs, brand new stories not based on existing manga or light novels. This means we're getting fewer cookie-cutter arcs and more fresh, unpredictable narratives. Industry analysts over at Star-Crossed Anime are also reporting a significant rise in viewer interest for shows that embrace philosophy, introspection, and even social critique. People are hungry for stories that do more than just entertain. They want stories that challenge them, and you can feel this shift everywhere. It's not just in the big name, blockbuster releases that everyone's talking about. It's bubbling up in the emerging titles, the hidden gems from smaller studios. It is as if the entire 2D format has transformed into a powerful new tool to talk about our reality, to talk about us, to talk about the fears and anxieties we used to gloss over with simple, happy endings. Anime is no longer just an escape from reality. It's becoming a way to understand it. So, how exactly does this profound shift play out on our screens? Which specific characters are breaking the mold and redefining what a hero can be? And which stories are going beyond simple entertainment to make a genuine, powerful statement about the world we live in today? Well, it all starts with the return of two absolute giants, two series that are coming back, but not quite as you remember them. We have one family full of spies and secrets, and one legendary hero who is beginning to question everything he once believed in. These shows are setting the tone for the entire season, proving that even the most established franchises can evolve. So, get ready. Next up, we're diving deep into the shows everyone's been waiting for. We're going to explore a world where Spy Time's family isn't just funny anymore, but carries a new emotional weight. And we'll unpack how My Hero Academia is evolving beyond a simple story of good versus evil. The fall 2025 season is here, and it's demanding our attention. It's time to look closer. Let's go. First, let's talk about Spy Time's family. We all fell in love with the Forger family for their hilarious misunderstandings and heartwarming, unconventional dynamic. The core charm is still there, Enya's priceless expressions, Lloyd's covert clumsiness, Yor's deadly sincerity. But this season, something is different. The laughter is still present, but it's now laced with a subtle, underlying tension. The series is starting to peel back the layers of its own premise. What does it truly mean to live a life built on lies, even for a noble cause? We see Lloyd grapple with this more than ever before. The line between his mission and his genuine feelings for his fake family is blurring. There are moments of quiet doubt, of genuine fear not for his mission, but for the potential emotional fallout. He's a master spy, trained to be detached, but he's also a father figure, and the script isn't afraid to show us that conflict. Yor, too, is facing her own internal struggles. Her identity as the Thorn Princess has always been a dark secret, but now the show is exploring the psychological toll it takes. Can she be both a loving mother and a lethal assassin? The story poses these questions directly, moving beyond the gag of her secret life and into the genuine emotional complexity of it. Anya remains the heart of the show, but even her telepathy is used in more poignant ways. She's not just hearing funny thoughts, she's sensing the deep-seated anxieties of her parents, a weight no child should have to bear. The visual storytelling reflects this maturity. The color palette in the domestic scenes is warmer, more saturated than ever, making the Forger's home feel like a true sanctuary. But when the espionage and assassination plots kick in, the colors become colder, the shadows longer, visually separating their two worlds. It's a brilliant way to show the constant balancing act they're all performing. This season, Spy Time's Family is proving that a story can be both incredibly funny and deeply thoughtful. It's a comedy that's growing up with its audience, asking us to consider the real human cost of a life shrouded in secrecy. Now, let's turn our attention to the other returning titan, My Hero Academia. For years, this has been the definitive story of heroism, of passing the torch, of fighting for a brighter future. But the world of My Hero Academia has changed. The heroes have fallen, society's trust has been shattered, and the line between hero and villain has become almost indistinguishable. This season takes that new reality and dives headfirst into the psychological aftermath. Deku is no longer the bright-eyed student dreaming of becoming the next All Might. He's a young man burdened by the immense weight of one for all, hunted and isolated. The story is no longer just about his journey to become the greatest hero. It's about his struggle to simply survive, to hold on to his sanity and his ideals in a world that has turned against him. The narrative dares to ask some incredibly difficult questions. What happens when the symbol of peace is gone and fear takes its place? What is the true meaning of heroism when society no longer believes in heroes? We see this not just through Deku, but through the entire cast. Bakugo's character arc takes a stunning turn, moving from explosive rivalry to a desperate, selfless desire to protect his friend. Uraraka is forced to confront the public's fear and anger head-on, becoming a voice of reason in a sea of chaos. The animation style has evolved to match this darker tone. The fights are still spectacular, but they feel more desperate, more brutal. There's a raw, gritty quality to the visuals. The character expressions are more detailed, conveying a range of complex emotions from exhaustion and despair to flickers of defiant hope. The creators are using every tool at their disposal to make us feel the oppressive atmosphere, the sense of a world on the brink. My Hero Academia is no longer a straightforward superhero story. It has transformed into a profound commentary on societal collapse, the nature of hope, and the incredible resilience of the human spirit. It's a story that acknowledges that saving the world isn't just about winning battles. It's about rebuilding trust, healing communities, and finding the strength to keep fighting, even when all seems lost. This season is a testament to the show's ability to evolve, to tackle mature themes without losing the core emotional spark that made us fall in love with it in the first place. These two shows are just the beginning. They are the standard bearers for a season that is redefining what we can expect from anime. Thank you so much for watching. If you're as excited about this new era of anime as I am, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the fall 2025 season. Let me know in the comments which returning show you're most excited about. See you next time. Have you ever gone back to a show you absolutely loved as a kid, or even just a few years ago, and realized it's different? Not in a bad way, but deeper, more intense, and suddenly the stakes feel so much higher. It's like revisiting an old friend and finding out they have this whole secret life you never knew about. Well, that exact feeling is about to hit the entire anime community this fall, because two of the biggest names on the planet are coming back, and they're not the same shows you remember. First up, let's talk about the family everyone wishes they were a part of, or at least a neighbor to. Spy Time's Family is returning for Season 3, and if you thought you knew the Forgers, get ready to have your world turned upside down. The new season officially premiered on October 4th, 2025, and it's already clear that the wholesome, goofy espionage we fell in love with is getting a serious injection of tension and drama. Just to recap for anyone who's been living under a rock, we have Lloyd Forger, the world's greatest spy, currently undercover as a mild-mannered psychiatrist. Then there's your Forger, his wife, who moonlights as one of the deadliest assassins alive, known as the Thorn Princess. And holding this fragile, fake family together is the one and only Anya, a telepathic little girl who can read their minds, but struggles to get a passing grade in class. Oh, and we can't forget Bond, the family dog who can see the future. A perfectly normal family, right? So, what's so different about Season 3? The missions are getting riskier, the enemies more formidable, but the real change is happening inside the Forger household. We're finally diving headfirst into Lloyd's past, the secrets he's buried, the events that shaped him into the spy known as Twilight. It's all coming to the surface. This isn't just another mission of the week. This is the backstory we've been dying for. The arc that threatens to unravel the very foundation of his carefully constructed identity. The creative powerhouses behind the animation, Wit Studio and Cloverworks, are clearly pulling out all the stops. The animation looks crisper, the action sequences more fluid, and the emotional moments hit harder than ever. They know the stakes are rising, not just for the characters, but for the show itself, and they're delivering. And the symbolism? It's beautifully on the nose. Take a look at the key visual for this season. You've got Anya and Bond, and shining down on them are 5 distinct sources of light, forming the shape of a star, or maybe a stellar star, the very thing Lloyd needs Anya to earn for his mission. The symbolism isn't subtle. It's a brilliant, deliberate nod to the core of their entire operation. It's a visual promise that everything, from Anya's school life to Lloyd's espionage, is interconnected. The hype for this season has been building for months. I remember seeing a Reddit thread way back that just screamed, Spy Times Family Season 3 to premiere in October 2025. The comments were a wildfire of excitement. Fans weren't just excited for more funny Anya faces or cool Lloyd moments. They were hungry for the deeper story, the secrets that have been bubbling just beneath the surface. We've all been wondering, what happens when the lies start to crack? What happens when this fake family starts to feel a little too real? Season 3 looks like it's finally ready to answer those questions. But hold on, because the return of the Forgers is only half of this seismic shift in the anime world. Now, let's switch gears to a series that has defined a generation of shonen anime fans. I'm talking about My Hero Academia. And this isn't just another season. This is the final season. Yes, you heard me right. The 8th and final season, officially titled Final Season, also launched on October 4th, 2025, marking the beginning of the end for the era of heroes. Why is this such a monumental event? Because this isn't just the end of a story arc. It's the culmination of everything we've watched these characters endure. It's the final war, the ultimate showdown between heroes and villains, between all for one and one for all. An article from comicbook.com put it perfectly, saying that while there are endless stories left to tell in this universe, the anime is preparing to wrap up the story of Deku and his journey. This is it, the grand finale. And to make it even more special, the creator of the manga himself, Kohei Horikoshi, has confirmed that this final season will include new, original scenes that weren't even in the manga. That means even if you're a die-hard manga reader who knows exactly what's coming, there will be brand new moments, new dialogues, and new emotional beats to experience for the first time along with everyone else. It's a gift to the fans who have followed this journey for years. Reviewers are already calling it a must-watch television event. Outlets like Decider are praising its incredible emotional depth, the unbelievably high-stakes action, and the promise of final battles that will be talked about for years. This isn't just about flashy fights, it's about the emotional weight of it all. It's about seeing our beloved characters pushed to their absolute limits, facing loss, and questioning the very meaning of what it is to be a hero in a world that is falling apart. And the fan reception is proving just how powerful this finale is. Here's a wild fact for you. One review pointed out that a recent episode, number 162, actually surpassed a historic score on IMDb. That's not just hype. That's a real-time reflection of how deeply this final season is resonating with audiences around the globe. When a show that has been running this long can still hit new peaks in its final act, you know it's doing something special. So what do these two massive returns have in common? On the surface, they seem completely different. One is a comedy espionage story about a found family, and the other is a sprawling superhero epic about good versus evil. But if you look closer, they're both about the same thing: legacy. Spy Times Family is exploring the legacy of a family built on lies. It's about a group of broken people pretending to be a perfect family, only to accidentally discover what true trust and connection really mean. It's about whether the legacy Lloyd is trying to build for the world is worth sacrificing his own chance at happiness. Meanwhile, My Hero Academia is grappling with the legacy of heroism itself. In a world where the symbol of peace has fallen and society is crumbling, what does it even mean to be a hero anymore? The show is using its final season to question the very ideals it was built on, forcing its characters and its audience to confront some incredibly difficult truths. In both cases, these familiar, beloved shows are using their return to explore something far deeper, more mature, and more meaningful than ever before. They're not just giving us more of the same, they're evolving. They're challenging our expectations and proving that even the most established stories can find new ways to surprise us, move us, and make us think. It's an incredible time to be an anime fan. We're not just getting sequels, we're getting sagas that are reaching their most critical turning points. Whether you're here for the heartfelt espionage of the Forgers or the epic conclusion of the world of heroes, this fall is shaping up to be unforgettable. But the returns of these titans are just the beginning. What about the new blood? The wild, original series that are just waiting to become your next obsession? In our next segment, we're going to dive into the shows you might not know yet, but absolutely should. The ones that are pushing boundaries and creating the legacies of tomorrow. So make sure you stick around for that. Thanks so much for watching. And if you're as hyped for these shows as I am, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. We've got a lot more to talk about. While the big returning series are grabbing all the headlines, let's shift our focus to the boldest newcomers of fall 2025. These are the originals, the ones not leaning on nostalgia. They're throwing entirely new worlds, new rules, and new stakes right at us. First up, Gakyakuta. Picture this. Humanity lives in magnificent cities floating high in the sky. But beneath them, an abyss. A vast, sprawling junkyard known as the Pit, filled with discarded trash, terrifying monsters, and society's outcasts. This is the world of the anime. It's where the abandoned, the doomed, and the exiled are forced to live. The title, Gakyakuta, roughly translates to legit trash. It's a harsh, direct commentary on a society that disposes of both its objects and its people without a second thought. What's really fascinating is the origin of this idea. The creator, Keirana, was inspired by a personal childhood memory. He once broke a pen he really loved and felt this overwhelming sense of loss and guilt. He channeled that feeling into creating a world where even discarded trash holds memories, souls, and immense power. This gives the entire story a unique emotional weight. The anime adaptation, which premiered back in July 2025, comes from the legendary Studio Bones. They've teamed up with illustrator Hideyoshi Ando to bring a distinct, graffiti-stylized visual flair to the series, which perfectly captures the raw energy of the world. It's a shounen action series at its core, but it's looking at some heavy themes through a raw, unfiltered lens: discrimination, exile, and the spark of rebellion. Our hero is a boy named Rudo. He's falsely accused of murder and, like all criminals, is literally thrown off the floating city and into the pit. Down there, his journey transforms from a simple quest for survival into a burning desire for revenge and a search for his true identity. There's a line from the series that really sticks with you. They call me trash. I'll show them what trash becomes. Gakyakuta stands out because it forces us to confront some uncomfortable questions. Who gets to decide what or who is worthless? And what happens when those who have been cast down to the very bottom decide to fight back? It is a story about finding value where society sees none and turning weakness into an incredible strength. Now, let's pivot to something completely different but just as wild: Sanda. This series comes from the brilliant mind of Paru Itagaki, the same creator who gave us the masterpiece Beastars. With Sanda, she transports us to Japan in the year 2080. It is a future defined by a collapsing birth rate, a society where youth are elevated and almost worshipped above adults, and where ancient legends are starting to reawaken in the modern world. And here's the twist that only Itagaki could dream up. Our protagonist, a regular high school student named Kazushige Sanda, discovers he is a descendant of Santa Claus. One day, a seal is broken, and suddenly he finds himself imbued with the powers of Santa. It's a collision of myth, magic, and the absolute chaos of puberty. It's a fun fact that after working on Beastars, Itagaki really wanted to draw human characters instead of anthropomorphic animals. She'd always been fascinated by the figure of Santa Claus and what he represents across different cultures, so using him as a vehicle for a new story just made perfect sense. The anime adaptation is being handled by the incredible studio Science Saru, and it's set to kick off in October 2025. So, what's the premise? On December 25th, When Santa puts on red clothes, his powers awaken. He transforms into a superpowered Santa-like figure, and he ends up fighting against a totalitarian system that seeks to control and suppress children. The vibe of this show is truly unique. It's blending holiday magic with a sci-fi dystopia, a teenage identity crisis, and a powerful commentary on societal control, all wrapped up in the dazzling, fluid animation that Science Saru is famous for. It's a spectacle, for sure, but it's spectacle with something important to say. When you look at these two originals together, Gakiakuta and Sanda, you see a season where fresh creators are being given the platform to shout loud and clear. They're not just retelling old stories. They're asking provocative new questions. What if the hero is literally made of trash? What if Santa Claus becomes a symbol of rebellion against the system? What if the hope for the future, the youth, also becomes its greatest danger? These shows prove that anime is still a space for radical, exciting new ideas. Next time, we'll pull back a bit and look at the other side of the season. We'll be diving into the sports, the slice of life, and the introspective fantasies titles that might seem lighthearted on the surface, but are carrying some surprising emotional weight. You won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this look at the seasons, newcomers, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss our next video. See you then. Alright, let us dive into two series set for fall 2025 that might look simple on the surface, but are packed with some seriously deep themes. Get ready, because these aren't just your average seasonal watches. First on our list is UMA Museum, Cinderella Grey. Now, if you've heard of the UMA Museum franchise, you might be thinking, anthropomorphic horse girls racing. Fun, right? Well, yes, but Cinderella Grey flips the script. This isn't just about cute girls running fast. It's a deep, often somber exploration of identity, ambition, and the crushing weight of loneliness. These horse girls, the UMA Museum, aren't just racing for glory. For many of them, each race is a desperate attempt to outrun their own pasts, their insecurities, and the person they're afraid of becoming. They're chasing victory, but they're also running from themselves. Now, for a key fact. While the franchise started as a wildly popular mobile game by Cygames, this new anime season is a complete narrative reboot. They're dialing up the drama, darkening the tone, and raising the emotional stakes to a whole new level. This isn't the UMA Museum you thought you knew. It's grittier, it's more intense, and it's far more psychological. Think about the name for a second, Cinderella Grey. It's not the bright, fairy tale Cinderella we know. The Grey suggests something more complex, a story where the lines between success and failure are blurred, where the fairy tale might not have a perfectly happy ending. This title hints at a protagonist who starts from nothing, an underdog, but her journey is filled with struggle and moral ambiguity, not just magic and wishes. And the animation details are just brilliant. There was a music video teaser that dropped, and it was filled with incredible visual storytelling. In one scene, you see a character not just running on the racetrack, but running through a series of mirrors, and in those mirrors, we see reflections of her past failures, moments of doubt, and her rivals pulling ahead. It's a powerful visual that shows her internal battle. It's not just a physical race, it's a mental one. These are the kinds of subtle animation layers that are so easy to miss if you're not looking for them, but they add so much depth. So, why does Cinderella Grey stand out in a sea of sports anime? Because it uses the sport as a powerful metaphor for life itself. Every single lap isn't just about winning or losing, it's a question. It's the anime asking its characters, and us, who are you when the finish line keeps moving? Who are you when the glory fades? It's a story about the relentless pursuit of a dream, even when that dream seems to be breaking you. This isn't just a sports drama, it's a character study wrapped in the high-stakes world of racing. Now, let's shift gears completely and journey into a different kind of future. Our next highlight is Dusk Beyond the End of the World. This is a sci-fi fantasy that kicks off with a classic but terrifying premise. Our hero wakes up after 200 years in cryosleep. He expects to see the world he left behind, maybe a bit more advanced. Instead, he finds a planet Earth that's been completely transformed. Civilization as he knew it has collapsed. Humanity has fractured into new, roaming clans, and the old myths and legends have been reborn as new realities. It's a post-apocalyptic world, but not in the way we usually see it. It's not just ruins and despair. It's a world that has moved on, evolved, and forgotten the past. Here's a fact for you. This series is being produced by the legendary studio PA Works, and if you know their work, you know to expect absolutely breathtaking visuals. The key art that's been released is a perfect example. It shows our hero standing alone on a desolate landscape, caught between two suns. It is a stunning image that literally puts him in an in-between moment, stuck between the world he lost and the new one he doesn't understand. That dual sun imagery is so powerful. It could represent so many things: the past versus the present, science versus myth, or the hero's own internal conflict. Is he the last remnant of a dead world, or the first seed of a new one? The visuals alone tell a story of isolation and monumental choice. And here's another interesting note that's been buzzing around from early preview screenings: the soundtrack. Apparently, it's a unique blend of grand, orchestral scores representing the old, epic world mixed with ambient, digital, and almost glitchy textures. It's a sonic reflection of the show's core theme: the old world meeting the new, the familiar clashing with the alien. Imagine hearing a beautiful symphony that suddenly starts to distort and break apart, replaced by strange, electronic sounds. That's the feeling this show is aiming for, creating an atmosphere that is both epic and deeply unsettling. So, why does this story matter? Because it's asking a massive, existential question. When you wake up to a world that has completely forgotten you, a world where your history is nothing but a lost myth, what do you do? Do you try to move on and adapt to this strange new reality? Or do you fight to make them remember the world that was lost? It's a profound question about legacy, memory, and what it means to be human when the very definition of humanity has changed. Putting these two shows together, Human Museum, Cinderella Grey, and Dusk Beyond the End of the World, we get a fascinating snapshot of what the fall 2025 Anim season has to offer. On one hand, you have an emotional sports drama that uses competition to explore the depths of the human psyche. On the other, you have an existential sci-fi catastrophe that questions the nature of memory and existence itself. Both of these titles wear their genre labels proudly, but they are so much more than what they seem. Underneath the thrilling races and the stunning post-apocalyptic landscapes, they are asking big, important questions about who we are and what we fight for. They prove that Anim can be both entertaining and incredibly thought-provoking. So, whether you're in the mood for a psychological sports story or a mind-bending sci-fi epic, fall 2025 has something that will make you think. Keep these two on your radar, because I have a feeling they're going to be the shows everyone is talking about. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. Let me know in the comments which of these two shows you're most excited for. Until next time. So, we've spent all this time looking at the lineup for fall 2025. My Hero Academia, Spy Time's Family, Gakyakuta, Sanda, and so many others. We've dissected the trailers, broken down the source material, and hyped up the studios. But I want to take a step back for a minute and ask a bigger question. What does all of this actually mean? Because when you look at the entire season as a whole, a pattern starts to emerge. Fall 2025 isn't just another packed Anim season. I think it's a shift. It's a signal that something fundamental is changing in the stories we're being told. Across all the different genres we've talked about, from high-energy action and sprawling fantasy to slice-of-life comedy and mind-bending sci-fi, there is one theme that echoes louder than ever before: the search for self. These stories are moving beyond the classic hero's journey. They're no longer just about achieving victory, saving the world, or getting the girl. They're about the messy, complicated, and often painful process of becoming who you are. These are stories about doubt, about failure, and about the long road to rebuilding yourself after you've been knocked down. We're entering an era of storytelling where a hero might fall and actually stay down for a while, where they have to grapple with the consequences of their losses, not just shrug them off and move to the next fight. We're seeing stories where a family, even one as seemingly perfect as the Forgers, might break apart before they can truly understand what holds them together. It is a season where even a figure as mythic as Santa Claus is forced to question the very fabric of the world and his place in it. This is a profound change from the power fantasies that have dominated the medium for so long. And something even deeper is happening behind the scenes. In the very DNA of how these Anim are being made, we're witnessing an unprecedented level of collaboration. Studios aren't just sticking to their house styles anymore. They're blending techniques, borrowing from each other, and pushing the visual language of Anim forward. We see this in the way writers are pulling inspiration directly from real-world tensions, from our collective anxieties about the future, our political divides, and our personal struggles. The line between fiction and reality is becoming beautifully, and sometimes painfully, blurred. You can see this shift everywhere if you look closely. Think about the ending of My Hero Academia. It's not about a glorious, triumphant finale where everyone is celebrating. It's a story steeped in grief, about the cost of heroism and the scars that victory leaves behind. It asks what happens asterisk after asterisk the final battle is won, when the adrenaline fades and the characters have to live with what they've done and who they feel lost. That's a level of maturity we don't always get to see in a mainstream shonen series, and it's incredibly powerful. Or look at Spy Time's family. This season, it feels like the show is letting silence do the heavy lifting. The most impactful moments aren't in the witty banter or the explosive action scenes. They're in the quiet, unspoken glances between Lloyd, Yor, and Anya. They're in the spaces between the words, where you can feel the weight of their secrets and the fragile, budding reality of their affection for one another. It's a masterclass in subtext, trusting the audience to understand the emotional core without spelling it out. Then you have series like Gakiakuta and Sanda. These aren't just cool, edgy stories with unique art styles. They're raw, visceral explorations of truth. They drag uncomfortable realities out from underneath layers of metaphor and allegory. Gakiakuta isn't just about a world of trash. It's about a society that discards people, about class, and about finding value where no one else can see it. Sanda uses its bizarre premise to talk about puberty, identity, and the pressures of lineage. They're challenging us to look past the surface and engage with difficult ideas. And what about the shows that are even more explicit with their themes? Like Dusk Beyond the End of the World, this isn't your typical post-apocalyptic survival story. It poses a much more philosophical question. What is left after the world as you know it collapses? It's not about fighting zombies or scavenging for resources. It's about finding meaning, connection, and a reason to keep going when everything has been stripped away. It's about the resilience of the human spirit in the face of absolute despair. This thematic evolution is matched by a growing visual maturity. We're seeing a more sophisticated use of cinematic language in anime. The interplay of light and shadow isn't just for mood anymore. It's used to reveal character, to externalize internal conflict. Sound design is becoming more intricate, with the strategic use of silence being just as important as a booming orchestral score. And symbolic color palettes are being used to tell stories in ways that words alone simply can't. Creators are using every tool at their disposal to add layers of depth and meaning. And the most exciting part, this isn't a trend that's limited to big-budget, blockbuster productions from legacy studios. We're seeing this same thematic and artistic ambition in smaller, independent productions. It proves that what makes a story resonate, what makes it truly land with an audience, isn't the size of the budget. It's truth. It's honesty. It's the courage to tell a story that feels real, even if it's set in a world of superheroes or spies. So, after all that, what does the fall 2025 season say to us, as viewers? I think it's telling us that maybe it's okay not to have all the answers, that it's okay to feel lost, to grow up confused, broken, or afraid, because those stories matter. Our struggles, our doubts, and our failures are just as worthy of being told as our triumphs. This season is a validation of the messy, imperfect human experience, and maybe that's what anime is becoming. It's evolving beyond just a form of fantasy or escapism. It's becoming a mirror that, if we're brave enough to look, shows us not just who we are right now, but also who we're still in the process of becoming. It reflects our hopes, our fears, and our endless capacity for change. Thank you so much for being here and taking this deep dive with me. I'm really excited to see how this season unfolds. Of course, we'll be diving much deeper into each of these series in our upcoming videos, so make sure you stick around for that. But until then, I want to leave you with a question. What anime from this upcoming season spoke to you the most, and why? Let me know down in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Hey everyone, what an incredible lineup for fall 2025, right? We've just scratched the surface of what's coming, and honestly, the hype is real. From epic fantasy sagas returning for their final arc, to mind-bending sci-fi originals that are already generating massive buzz, this season is shaping up to be one for the history books. We talked about the sequels that have us on the edge of our seats, like the next chapter in the dark fantasy world that left us all with a major cliffhanger last year. And we can't forget the brand new adaptations from beloved manga that fans have been begging to see animated for years. The studios are really bringing their A game, with breathtaking animation and soundtracks that are already stuck in my head. But now, I want to hear from you. Which anime from the fall 2025 season are you most excited for? Is it the return of your favorite characters? Or are you ready to dive into a completely new universe? Jump down into the comments and let me know which show you've already marked on your calendar, and why. I read every single comment, and I'm genuinely curious to see which anime is winning the popularity contest in our community. Are you team action, team romance, or are you here for the complex, psychological thrillers? Don't be shy, share your top pick. And hey, if you enjoyed this preview and you're as passionate about anime as I am, then do me a huge favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out and tells me you want to see more content just like this. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. Why? Because what we did today was just the appetizer. The main course is coming, and you don't want to miss it. This season is packed with shows that deserve more than just a quick glance. They deserve a deep dive. Starting next week, we're going to be breaking down the biggest shows of the season, episode by episode. We're not just going to recap the plot, we're going to go deeper. We'll analyze the character arcs, explore the hidden symbolism, and dissect the themes that make these stories so compelling. We'll talk about the cinematography and the subtle animation choices that elevate a scene from good to unforgettable. Ever wonder why a director chose a specific color palette for a character's emotional turning point? Or how a particular soundtrack motif foreshadows a future event? That's exactly the kind of stuff we'll be getting into. We'll also look at the source material. How does the anime adaptation compare to the manga or light novel? What did they change? What did they keep? And why do those decisions matter? We'll have discussions about pacing, about filler, and about how the anime expands upon the original world. We'll celebrate the moments when the animation team perfectly captures the essence of a manga panel, and we'll critically examine the times when maybe they missed the mark. This is for the fans who appreciate the artistry and craftsmanship that go into creating the anime we love. This channel is more than just a review channel. It's a community for people who want to understand anime on a deeper level. It's for viewers who love discussing theories, catching subtle details, and appreciating the incredible amount of work that goes into every single frame. So if that sounds like you, you've definitely found your new home on YouTube. We're building a space for thoughtful, passionate, and positive discussion about anime. So, let's get that conversation started. Which fall 2025 anime do you think will have the most interesting themes to analyze? Is it the philosophical questions posed by that new sci-fi epic, or the complex political intrigue of the historical drama? Let me know your predictions in the comments below. I am already building my list of which shows to cover based on what you guys are most excited about. So your input is super important. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and sharing in the excitement for the upcoming season. It means the world to have you here. Get ready, because we have a whole season of incredible stories to experience and break down together. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment with your most anticipated show. I can't wait to read what you're all looking forward to. Stay awesome, and I'll see you in the very first breakdown video. Peace out.